Hey, it's me Zanov and welcome back to Skyrim, the Elder Scrolls 5 Anniversary Edition Legendary Difficulty Survival Mode playthrough. How are we doing, ladies and gentlemen? I'm doing pretty good myself. We have just come here with Serana, filled up this little bowl here, and activated what seems to be a nice, beautiful portal. By the way, I was so happy with how the thumbnail looked for this video too, or for the previous video anyway. I just absolutely love that portal. But for those of you that missed it, a little quick recap. Serana and I are trying to locate her mother, Valerica, who may have one of the Elder Scrolls in Valerica's laboratory. We've recreated an experiment she performed and opened a portal to the Soul Cairn, a plane of oblivion. Serana believes strongly that her mother is inside this strange place and has indicated we should step through. Enter the Soul Cairn. So that's exactly what we're going to do. A nice, a little caveat for this, as well as if you are not a vampire, you actually have to be transformed into a vampire to be able to enter the Soul Cairn, as living entities cannot actually just walk around here freely. You must be undead. Now,
let's go. My mother must be waiting on the other side of that thing.
oakley dokley. You do not feel hunger, exhaustion, or cold here. Oh, thank goodness.
Look at this place. I can't imagine choosing to come here. My mother must have been terrified.
Must have been. Oh, that little status update there where we do not feel hunger, cold, or restless, or whatever it was. That's made my day. That has made my day. That was the one thing I was scared of, is like, oh man, we're not going to be able to explore this place fully because like we're going to get hungry and tired and all that nonsense. But no, now we can explore this place fully, and I am excited to do so. So we have lots of little spirits roaming around. Now I'm not sure if they have their own unique things or not.
Stay away from the crystals, or you may find yourself becoming one of us.
Very handy tip, very handy tip. We'll have to look out for these crystals he's talking about. If you stand on those, I believe they regenerate your health, and you can harvest soul fishes as well. And it says soul harvested, and I believe what happens when you harvest a soul fisher is it fills up the largest soul gem or empty soul gem that you have in your inventory. Let's talk to this lady here.
I thought death was a release, not an eternity of torment.
Pardon me. Yes, you more than likely got killed by the wrong person and did not find yourself in Sovngarde. Instead, you found yourself here. Can we use magic to open these? I can't remember. Let's give it a go. We can indeed. Very good, very good. So, yeah, there's bows and arrows here if you do not have projectile capabilities, but you can just use magic to hit these things, and it will open the way. The bars. Black soul jump, definitely take that. Steel mace, definitely leave that. Steel dagger of cowardice, we'll leave that. And common soul gem, we'll take that. Jub's opus, page 8. Remember, in the end, 76 cliff racers were slaughtered. I was knee-deep in their corpses and my body on the verge of collapse, but I had survived. I smiled to the heavens and all went black. When I awoke, all I felt was my back on a cold stone floor. Every muscle in my body was on fire and my vision was blurred. Slowly, I tried to climb to my feet. It took several agonizing blank. Let's take that, because hint, hint, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, whatever order you want to do that little weird interaction in. They are important, and they are a part of a quest that we can do while in the Soul Cairn. So very important to pick up. And we know from that there's at least 8 pages. Hello, my friend.
How could they trick me like this? I was one of Reman's court wizards.
How could they? How could they? Again, if you stand in that, I believe it restores your health. We are going to... Whoop. I'm going to try to explore a lot of the Soul Cairn, because I do like the idea of this place. And also, there's just a lot to see here. There's a lot to see, there's a lot to do. Although it is hard to navigate by design intentionally, Bethesda actually made it so there was no like little map in the Soul Cairn. We're going to back up real quick before I die. And we're going to do that, heal ourselves, and then we're going to get back to it. Almost there, and boom. Yeah, by design, it's Bethesda intentionally... Grand Soul Gem, yes. Soul Husky, yes. And Greater Soul Gem, yes. Soul Husk, yes. Bethesda intentionally made it so there was no map and made it so it was all very kind of dreary and foggy and whatnot to actually make it not a place that you want to kind of stay in, but they hadn't met good old Zarnov, which unfortunately for them, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I intend to explore this place pretty thoroughly, like I usually do. Whether or not we do absolutely everything, we'll have to see. We'll just have to see. Like, if this gets on like 5 ridiculously long episodes trying to complete this whole thing, we might have to cut it short. We're going to heal ourselves real quick. We might have to cut it and just leave it for a completionist playthrough to do this, because there is a lot of stuff you can do in the Soul Cairn, like a lot of stuff. There's a, whoa, jeepers, keep an eye on the health, stop with the jibber jabber. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can do here. There's a lot of stuff to see and whatnot, so it could definitely take quite a while to get through this if I wanted to do everything. So we're just gonna have to see how we go. Just see how much stuff gets done kind of organically, like these pages, like how organically we go across, or we come across these instead of having to look for them. In any case, quickly stifled by the sound of over 100 wings rising from the Foyoda was an entire colony of cliff racers, and they were not out for blood. Oh, they were not. They were out for blood. The blasted thing had led me right to their nest and sacrificed itself with the intent of feeding me to its brood. It was a trap. The damn things had become much too clever. Knowing this was likely the end, I jumped down from the silt strider and hit the back of its leg with the, pardon me, and also blank. Yes, that was not pause for effect, that was pause for a burp. I'm sorry. Let's keep looking around. I mean, I do like the intent. I do like what Bethesda was going for in terms of, like, it's supposed to be kind of hard to navigate, but also, when you like to complete things as I do, it's just a little bit frustrating, because I wish I could just see where everything was. And that looks like a bow and some arrows that are not supposed to be phased into the ground like that. But just look at the black soul gem right there. Just look at everything here. It's just insane. Wow, you were a weak bone man. Weak. Common soul gem. Yeah, so I expect only that much. Oh, where are you? There you are. Let's work on you. Get our one-handed up. And boom. Search the bone man. Take the soul husk. Take the lesser soul gem. I also took something else. Hopefully it's not completely useless and just going to weigh us down. And it looks like there's a little building over here we can explore as well. This is what I mean. There's just so much stuff in the Soul Cairn, and you don't know how much of it is like, how much of it you need to explore, and how much of it is just like there because it's there, if you know what I mean. Like, this looks like a building where it's just there because it's there, and it will like attract your attention and pull you away, but it doesn't have anything substantial. Just had a couple soul gems in there. At least that's what I think, unless there's something on top. I don't know, I could be wrong. But that's what it seems like at first glance, and I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So we're not going to waste any more time on it. Let's keep running around. I'm also very aware I'm very far off the path to get to where we need to go. I'm kind of trying to make it so I can discover a lot of these things that are in the Soul Cairn. And how I usually do that is by reaching the border. I find the easiest way to navigate the Soul Cairn is you reach the border and then you kind of look inwards at where you have and haven't been, and it's probably the easiest reference point because it's the border. Yeah, so it's probably the easiest way to try and navigate, at least what I find. So you match up with the border along with like the big wall in the center of the Soul Cairn that you cross over eventually. And you kind of have a better idea of what you have seen and haven't seen. It's still not easy, but it's easier. Like, exploring the Soul Cairn is never easy. It's never an easy, job, because as I said, there's no map. You can't really keep track of where you have and haven't been. You kind of just got to remember, and yeah, unfortunately, that's all there is to it. But again, it's not poor game design, it's intentional game design. It's supposed to be like that. The Soul Cairn is supposed to be the embodiment of like a dreary place that you're not supposed to want to stay in. But Bethesda did not know of a YouTuber named Zarnov. No, they did not. They They were probably thinking of the typical peasants that play their game. Whoa, what?
A soul gem. That's what it was.
Pardon me.
I must be. Oh, no.
Ah, you hit the nail on the head. The sudden realization.
Stories about the Soul Cairn.
A terrible realization, I might add. Yeah, Zarnov over here, not part of the common rabble that plays the Bethesda games. I am not put off by a challenge. In fact, I absolutely love completing this kind of stuff. Now, this old thing is going to be a bit painful. Ooh, jeepers, there's a lot of souls here that don't look like they're having a good
I wonder
time.
if the fire's still burning in the Imperial City.
Ooh, you've been here a while. You have been here a while. Now, how do I know how I go about getting across there. I know how I go about getting across there. The only question is, do I have enough? They wouldn't, no, there's no way they'd make it so, like, you couldn't get over there with one. Would they? Let's see. They would make it so you can't get out. Wowza, that's almost killed me very, very quickly. Okay. We're gonna have to... How do I go about getting over there? How do I go about getting over there? Ah. Don't worry. I'm so sorry. I'm just a wee little bit blind sometimes. It's the commentary, I swear. I'm not actually that bad of a player. It's just the commentary. Yeah, that's what it is, the commentary. There we go. That's the fallback plan. The fallback, the little fallback I have is always, the commentary. Yeah, it's the commentary. Okay. This is what the soul husks are very useful for. Interrupts the soul drain effect in the Soul Cairn. Resist 10% of magic for 10 seconds. So, as you saw when we approached this big giant crystal, and by the way, I believe in the lore these represent the ideal masters. Like, this is like the best representation of their form. But we'll get more into that after this. The way to circumvent the drain effect is to eat one of these, but I'm not sure how long that lasts for. Hopefully a little bit longer than 10 seconds, but we'll see. And get into this chest real quick, and we'll go Common Soul Gem, Daedra Heart, very good. Ultimate Healing and Vigorous Stamina, leave that. And do you have anything unique to say?
Well, you can.
I will indeed, because that thing kills me mighty, mighty quick. But yeah, in terms of a little bit of lore in the Soul Cairn, so essentially what the Soul Cairn is it's run by or owned by the Ideal Masters. And the Ideal Masters were from, this is all off the top of my head by the way, so I'm pretty sure this is accurate. I could be like slightly wrong here or there, but I'm pretty sure this is mostly correct. The Ideal Masters were a group of necromancers who eventually found a way to kind of surpass the... they got basically powerful enough to transcend like mortal existence, and then from there transcend further into not Daedra, because I believe you can't ascend to a Daedra, but they just ascended to a certain amount of power, and then eventually took over their own plane of oblivion, being the Soul Cairn. And after they took it over, we're just going to put this in here. I'm going to quick save real quick actually. We're going to put this in here, place Soul Gem, and essentially what will happen here is a lightning will strike that and it will be turned into a black Soul Gem, and then we'll also have a bunch of enemies spawn.
Where'd you come from?
And yeah, the Ideal Masters eventually took the Soul Cairn as their own plane of oblivion and turned it into their own plane of oblivion. And how they essentially work is they make deals with necromancers and that and trick them more often than not. Promises of great power and whatnot, you know, the typical thing, and then betray them and end up trapping them as well as all the souls that those necromancers have given them while the necromancers were chasing some kind of power. The Ideal Masters almost always betray the necromancers. At least that is at least what I can say for certain. That's usually the case. Is the Ideal Masters always try to trick and betray. And yeah, there's not much else I can get into because I'm not the lore guy. I mean, I enjoy the Elder Scrolls lore, and I read a lot of it on Reddit, like a lot of it, because some of it is extremely interesting, especially some of the theories and stuff, and particularly how people try to explain what an Elder Scroll is. Indeed it is. Particularly when people try to explain, because there was a post recently where they tried to explain what an Elder Scroll is and like went into it. One person asked the question, you know, it would take months to try and describe why a certain question wouldn't make sense and yada yada yada. I believe it's from an interaction you have with Urag at the College of Winterhold. And the guy basically said, I have the time, please try your best to explain. And somebody did, and it was an awesome explanation. I cannot remember for the life of me, and I can no longer find the post, and I'm kicking myself. But it was an awesome explanation as to how what the Elder Scrolls are, how they work, and whatnot. And we're going to make sure we collect all these soul husks while we're here, because you'll see later. But yeah, it was an awesome explanation, and just so interesting too, and so deep, and like it just covers things that you never usually really think about. Like the Elder Scrolls just in general just has a kind of depth which is insane in the lore, and that's why I love it, and that's why I'm so excited for Starfield, because if it truly is a universe that's been 25 years in the making, or however it is they've been advertising it, it really could be something special, and I'm really, really excited for it, to be honest. I'm absolutely thrilled that there's a new IP coming out from Bethesda, and I just feel like there's so much potential there, and it can obviously go so right, but again, it can also go really wrong, which unfortunately, that's just how games are nowadays. It just seems like that's just such, and it's so bad, that's just the common thing, that is just what games have turned into. It's just, you have to keep going back to older games and rely on the nostalgia of how good and just how much effort was put into the older games in order to like get your fix, if you will. Like even games like, I was watching a video the other day on Left 4 Dead versus Back 4 Blood. Now, I'm not going to comment on whether or not Back 4 Blood's a good game. I've seen some reviews, I've watched some gameplay. I'm going to say I've seen enough to know that it's not for me, but if you enjoy it, I'm happy for you, that's good. But it just seems like, especially compared to Left 4 Dead, and this is what I mean about getting lost in the Soul Cairn, I'm pretty sure we've already been here. Yeah, we have. Yeah, it just seems to me that games nowadays, and the Back 4 Blood and Left 4 Dead example is what's freshest in my mind. Games these days rely on, wow, 4K, wow, high textures and that, but then they miss a lot of the other things that like are what make a game so great, like the little individual like 1%ers, the little bits of effort here and there that really take you, that you might not even notice when you play it in game, but there's just something about playing it. There's just something about it. You might not even notice it, but there's just something about it that you really, really love, or it really, really adds to the game. And here's this little closed off section here, eh? And it really, really adds to the game. Specifically for Left 4 Dead, just the music. So there was like different music depending on, and it was like individual to what each character was experiencing as well. So it wasn't all the same. It wasn't all like, you know, if someone was getting taken by a smoker, everyone heard the same music. The music was is that? It is. I was about to say, why is my health going down? The music was, specific to the player that was experiencing that thing, so it would have multiple audio tracks running at one time, and it's just again a lot of effort put into the game, and not only that, just the motion capture as well for the zombies, like the common infected, because you would be fighting them all the time. They wanted to make them special, so we're going to quickly eat a soul husk. They wanted to make them special, so that's not a soul husk. So what they did was they made hundreds of animations and hundreds of motion captures where the actor would like fall and react to being shot in different ways and whatnot. And it was something I never noticed, but something that, because I never noticed, it was just part of the game. And that's something that was great, a part of the game, the music and the motion capture and just all the effort. Like I can't emphasize the amount of effort put into the game that kept me coming back and playing it. We're going to read this real quick. So, tracking what I called a lingerer, a cliff racer without a nest, he was a particularly feisty one too. Leading me on a merry chase across almost 3 miles of ash dunes, I had managed to take a piece out of one of his wings in an earlier scuffle, so he couldn't maintain much of a climb. But he still had quite a bit of stamina left, and he was trying to make me tire of the chase, almost too solid hours passed, and my silt, ... Take that. And we'll take that circlet too. And we'll jump down here before we start dying from that, the Ideal Master taking our energy, like it's doing to Serana right now. And yeah, just those, all those little individual pieces of effort that, again, if you like Back 4 Blood, I'm not trying to take it away from you or anything, but those little bits of effort, when put side by side to Left 4 Dead, it was quite jarring and quite in your face and quite obvious to see that that same attention to detail was not put in Back 4 Blood. The same level of care and love and whatnot didn't seem to be put into Back 4 Blood, and that's why Left 4 Dead, still to this day, still has a really strong player base. If you look it up on the Steam weekly players, I can't remember what the exact numbers were, but I was still really surprised to see the weekly players of Left 4 Dead. It's still insane. It's still really, really crazy. And that is a game that I do enjoy myself. And like, the thing is, like, even though there's also no progression system in Left 4 Dead, you just kind of go through the levels. It's almost like an arcade experience, but it's like there was so much effort and so much love put into that game on like the micro scale of everything, the facial reactions of the characters, just everything. I saw a really good video outlining all of it.
Help me find my Arvak. He doesn't deserve to be in a place like this.
You're just interrupting me, sir. I'm 100% gonna forget what I was talking about now. Good old Zarnov. Calm down. Who's Arvak?
Arvak, my horse. We came to this horrible place together. We were attacked by monsters, so I told him to run. Please, he's such a loyal creature, and he's been running for so long. You have to save him. A place like this will change you.
How can I help him?
Arvak! Arvak! Where are you? Arvak, please come back! Come back!
And Poof, I'm guessing? Maybe? No? Just stuck in the dialogue? Ah, Poof. Yeah, there we go. Find Arvak's skull in the Soul Cairn. Okay, that looks like something else we will be doing. And I feel like I'm pretty confident I've explored most of this first area. I think. But again, it's hard to tell. Let me just double check that there is no map. Yeah, there is no map. It's so hard to tell. I'm pretty confident I explored all of it. In any case, yeah. Even though Left 4 Dead is like even though the game is as old as it is, and what my original point was is it's just a shame that we have to, like, even with new games releasing, we still have to find like old games that we relied on when we were kids or much younger, or just older games in general, regardless of what your age was, to kind of fill the gap of fun. Because newer games just don't seem to do it, because the same level of care and love isn't put into them. And that's not always necessarily the fault of the developers. I understand there's also, there's also crunch times put on people, and, business wants money and yada yada yada, and the whole kind of market surrounding gaming has almost been tainted by big businesses coming in and wanting certain things and putting certain pressures on people and whatnot, because obviously they saw it as a good way to make money, but they've kind of just gone with that and taken that and run with it, is what I'm trying to say. And they've just gone to the extreme of monetizing like every little thing they can on a game. And when you get to that point where you're monetizing everything, the same level of effort isn't put in. I mean, it just destroys games. It really does, and it's unfortunate. It's so unfortunate, and it's so sad to see, but I don't know. Hopefully there will eventually be a turnaround point where the businesses kind of just take a step back and let the creative minds do what they need to do when they play, when they're creating a game, instead of having such a... I'm thinking I need to hit you guys. Having such a big emphasis put on the money and whatnot. Hopefully we can just get back to creating a game and appreciating a game for the love that was quite clearly put into it, instead of hold on, just let me kill this guy, let me focus, instead of what's happening now, where it's just, hey, I bought this game, and if I want to have any fun in it, I got to spend this much more money, and it just really is terrible. It's just, that's the best way to put it. It's just a terrible terrible time for games, to be honest. In my opinion, it's just it's just a terrible time for games. It's just unfortunate and it's just upsetting, to be honest, because there's so much potential in a lot of the games that come out. There is so much potential for it to be great, but the focus is evidently on money. The best example I have that's recent that's come out is like Halo Infinite. I've played through that. I played through the whole campaign on Legendary. I collected a lot of the skulls. I almost 100%ed it. I basically done everything except for like the skulls in the first mission. Oh wait, no. I did end up. I replayed it and got all the skulls. So I got all the skulls. I got like 90% of the audio logs. I did pretty much everything there was to do in that game, as well as completing it on heroic. And then I stopped. And then I was like, okay, this is fun. The online is fun as well. The online is like great. It's actually really refreshing. Like it's like the Halo Infinite did something great where it basically changed up how Halo would be played forever by introducing the extreme verticality that is now achievable through things like the grapple hook and whatnot. Like it made a change, and it made a good change. Like it feels great. It feels fluent, it feels great, and it's fun to play. The problem, and I'm not sure by the time I publish this video whether or not it's been addressed or fixed or what, but the problem right now with Halo Infinite is just the insane microtransactions required if you want to progress at all. Like you can just tell when you're playing multiplayer and how the armors look and what you have to do to unlock certain things and just how the progression is framed. It's just the emphasis is not on the gameplay or supporting the multiplayer. It is 110% on let's make leveling up and unlocking these things as hard as possible to try and force the player to pay for the level up or to pay for something, you know? Or like, you know, even this whole thing with season passes now, it's unfortunate. You've just had to come to accept that season passes are a thing, and you can no longer just expect that, you know, there will be like decent stuff released for a game. Like just think about what the premise of a season pass is, and I know everyone's just kind of come to accept it now as just a regular thing of games, and in my opinion it's unfortunate because the whole premise of a season pass is just terrible. You're paying for the opportunity to grind and unlock something. Like you're paying for the opportunity to try and unlock something that you might not even be able to unlock. Like you're paying. And in a lot of cases, you're paying for the opportunity to grind for something that you won't ever unlock because the grind is still hectic. And then a lot of these games also monetize the grind, and I feel like we've come somewhere a little bit earlier than what we should have. You're paying for the opportunity to try and unlock something and grind it out. And then in a lot of cases, the grind is so awful that you pay for the levels in that season pass as well. So you don't, and it's just whammy after whammy after microtransaction after microtransaction after pay, line our pockets, and see you later. And there's no care for the gaming community anymore. Is what I'm essentially trying to get at with a lot of big companies. It's just unfortunate, but it's just a reality that's happened, and it's because of business. It's because of business-minded individuals that just see the profits to be made and not the fun or the potential, like the potential for changing somebody's life to happen. Like as much as that might sound weird or whatever to some people, like games do genuinely have a notable impact on people's lives. Like whether it be they were needed to cope with something or they needed to fill in time or whatever. Like I mean, how many games can you think of off the top of your head that you absolutely loved to play as a child and had a genuine impact on, like you have fonder memories of that game as a child? Like it's just, that's how games are, whether you like to kind of like accept it or not. Like games do play a big part for a lot of people in their lives, and now it's all just more, the emphasis is put on monetization rather than quality, and it's unfortunate. And this has turned into a very long-winded thing. I'm going to try and get away from this subject because it's a upsetting subject to discuss, but I think it needs to be addressed at least once every so often, and it just works. I had to do it. I saw it out of the corner of my eye, and I'm like, okay, I've got that one in the bank ready to go as soon as I kill this bone man. Okie dokie. Oh man, the Soul Cairn is just so huge, and I feel like, yeah, that over there was something that we might have approached a little bit too early, but I'm pretty sure this is not one of those places. I'm going to go third person because I don't want the soul drain effect to start on me and then I don't know and I just die. That would be terrible. And in keeping with that, I'm also going to quick save because that 100% could happen and I could very, very quickly die. This is not the way. Gosh, I love these textures. I love these textures. Beautiful to look at. Beautiful. Okay, let's kill this guy because he's by himself. Come on out. 3 and a 2 and a 1 and a boom. See you later, my friend. What have you got? Petty soul gem, take it. Leave the rest. And okay, good stuff, Serrano. Good stuff. What is this? Daedra Heart, Soul Husk, and Soul Husk. I'll take it. I will take it. Just casually sitting there waiting to be swooped up. And there we go. It eventually just worked. I don't know how that works. Hey, I've got no idea what triggers something to not load, and then I eventually reach a certain point, and then it loads and whatnot. Yeah, I got no idea how that works. I wish I did. That's something I regret, is not getting into things like game designing and whatnot when I was young. I've watched plenty of videos on game design. I actually watched one of the game design editors videos for Skyrim, and it was great. I recommend it, looking it up on YouTube, finding it and watching it. It was actually very, very cool. They talk about how they first came to the idea of lycanthropy and whatnot. I won't spoil it, but lycanthropy and how that would be implemented and what it would look like and all that is very, very cool. Yeah, let's read this. The Book of Life and Service. The ranks of the blessed are the bone man, for they serve without self in spirit forever. Blessed are the mistmen, for they blend in the glory of the transcendent spirit. Blessed are the wrathmen, for they render their rage unto the ages. Blessed are the masters, for they bridge the past and span the future. The litany of service, the bone man's oath. We die, we pray, to live, we serve. The master's voice, you swore to serve your lord. We'll take that. A bit of interesting lore there, I guess.
Seems awful. Like we're still suffering.
110%, Lydia. 110%. Ooh, yes, let's take all of that. Now, this is feeling like a bit of a maze. Now, I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to stand on that and it will take me somewhere. I hope, I pray. Yes, there we go. There we go. I was like, there's got to be a way I can get on this roof. On the roof. Where's it? What is all this? Stop this. Stopping me from seeing everything. So nothing that way. And nothing this way, it seems. The only way is to go up there. So again, we're going to eat a soul husk and sprint up those stairs and check that chest. Soul husk. Yeah, we got a good chunk of them. Good. And search chest, empty. That's not what I like to see. That is not what I like to see. Lesser soul gem and Job's Opus, page 9. Minutes, but I finally managed to do it as my eyes adjusted to the dim light of my new surroundings. I realized that I was standing before Lord Vivek himself. He was simply staring at me, floating above his throne and staring at me with his piercing eyes. When I began to prostrate myself as a sign of respect, he held up one of his hands as if to say it wasn't necessary. Was I dead? Was Lord Vivek pleased with me? Was he... ... Suspense. Let's run out of here before that soul gem, or before the Ideal Master starts taking all my life. There we go. He just started. So it must... Yeah, the effect must last 10 seconds, I'm guessing, which is what it says in the description, but I wasn't sure if it was 10 seconds for the soul drain effect as well. Hopefully Serrana can follow me out of there and she doesn't get lost. I really, really hope so. I really, really hope so. So we just explored this place. Man, this is... that place over there is somewhere we got to go a little bit later, a wee bit later on, I'm pretty sure. Gosh, this place is confusing. Let's explore this little ruin. Okay, we got some stuff happen, and there's an Ideal Master up there. Let's take care of these guys. No blocking. None of that. Man, Soul Cairn is a great place for soul gems. Who would have thought, hey? Who would have thought? Let's get ready to heal ourselves here. Yep. There we go. And keep going. Keep doing your thing, Serrana. I need you up in the back there, just giving us that damage. I'm really enjoying the switch up of gameplay. Just doing the one-handed dagger, and the heavy armor. You know, like, we're weak, but also, you know, I'm enjoying it. I'm having a good time. I'm having a good time, and if I'm having a good time, I think that translates through well to the viewer as well. I feel like if I'm having a good time, then, you know, it makes it more enjoyable to watch. So, you know, it's nothing but good things by keeping it fresh and changing up the gameplay, I think. Let's go ectoplasm, and we'll take the petty soul gem too. Why not? There we go, and we'll search this guy as well. Common soul gem and void salts. Yep, and greater soul gem. Is there another one next to him? I feel like there's two here. There we go, petty soul gem. There was. Now, how do we get up there? 'Tis the question. I'm gonna guess it's this. Boom. And there must be something somewhere else.
What kind of place is this?
This place is the Soul Cairn. Not very inviting, not very nice. Not very many people want to actually be here. They're just kind of here. I'm guessing that's something down there as well. My gosh, is there so much? If I get close, it's going to start, yeah, soul draining me. What else do I need to do to get the bars down so I can walk in there? Let's take all these. Let's check in with this guy, see what this is all about. Hello?
Madness. It was madness to attack that coven of witches. Why didn't they listen to me?
Clearly they should have. And clearly the only person who really lost that day was you, because now you're here. I would be very upset with whoever convinced me or forced me to go to that coven of witches. Gosh, how do I get that second little set? I bet you it's so obvious, but I'm just missing it. More than likely it is so obvious, but I'm just missing it. Where could it be? Is it like inside and I'm missing it? No. How do I get in there? I want to get in there. Skyrim, stop this. Stop this. Stop it.
Stories about the Soul Cairn, but never thought I'd see it myself.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
more than I imagined.
Is it up there? Is there something else up there that I just can't see? Ah, there you are. No, no, no. Did that do it? It did. Oh, there we go. I told you it would be obvious and I was just missing it. Okay, let's get food and the soul husk. I apologize, everyone, for that. Took a little bit longer than what it should have, in my opinion. I definitely could have done that a bit better. Sorry, Serana. I'll get you out of there real quick because you won't get yourself out of there. Come on now. Come out of there. It's no good for you, obviously. You feel that effect where, like, your soul is leaving your body? Yeah, not good for you. Just a quick tip. That is not a good feeling to have. You should probably try and avoid that. You should probably put two and two together and be like, oh, what is this weird thing that's like, you know, I've got this like thing attached to me and it's like draining something. It seems to happen when I go near these crystals. Yep. You should probably put two and two together and kind of realize that it's not good for you. It's definitely not good for you. Now, we've explored this place. I think this is the first place we explored when we came through. Yeah, I hit those two things and it opened. There's one thing over there, but we'll leave it for later. We've explored that place there. My gosh, am I already turned around and getting confused. Here's a little mammoth boneyard. Let's quickly do a little run through here, even though I don't think that's anything. It's not. And that's also nothing. Let's keep going over here. And we'll talk to him in a second. I feel like he might have a little something to say to us. And that looks like it takes us up somewhere. So, leave that for now. Let's talk to this fella here. What have you got to say, my friend? Morven Thraud.
Well, look what we have here. Someone with flesh on their bones.
Well, would you look at that? What's the matter with you, Morven
Let's
Thraud?
just say I sold something to a guy who turned out to work for a whole coven of necromancers.
Ooh, tough break.
How in the name of Zenithar was I to know the ingredients were phony? Do I look like someone that would double-cross a necromancer?
So that's how you got here, eh?
You got it. Horse, wagon, and all. Plopped here without so much as a word. I used to be one of the best traders in High Rock, you know. How people would track me down just to see what I had for sale.
Got anything left?
Very funny. And what exactly are you going to pay me with? Take a look around. Gold doesn't exactly win you any friends around here.
It's unfortunate because that's what I got a lot of. There must be something you want.
I'll tell you what. I appreciate what you're trying to do, so I'll play along. The only thing I see around here in abundance are soul husks. You know, those ugly fungus-looking things growing out of the ground. Bring me, say, 25 of them, and you can rummage through what was left on my cart.
Fair enough. What do you have?
Odds and ends I've gathered over the years. Well, used to gather, before all of this nonsense happened to me. Tell me what you're looking for, and maybe we can make a deal, if you have the husks.
And there you go. So you can usually get things off of him. We'll leave it for right now. So nothing right now.
Sure. Keep pestering me then, by all means.
Indeed I will, my friend. Indeed I will. But in any case, that is going to have to do it for today's episode, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please like and subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and leave any comments below, any recommendations, or just stop by to say g'day, because I promise I'll respond to everyone. I absolutely love the interactions. But in any case, regardless of whether or not you do anything I just suggested, please have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.